God's chosen ones, God calls you to silence. Do not speak a word. Beloved, God's chosen ones, do you know that in the very moment your heart aches to speak out, the Lord is asking you to stay silent? Tonight, in the stillness of this Wednesday night, everything can change if you listen and open your heart. Close your eyes for a moment, chosen one, and feel the space around you. Tonight, darkness covers the earth. Silence fills every corner. Gentle rays of light slip through the cracks, and a distant bell echoes softly yet powerfully, as if awakening the deepest part of your soul. Have you ever felt lonely, misunderstood, so much that your heart feels heavy? The ones closest to you cannot see the mission God has placed upon your shoulders, and even when you long to speak, to explain, to be understood, it feels as though the world is not yet ready to hear. But remember, chosen one, you are not alone. You are an essential part of God's great design. Every step, every ache, every quiet moment of your life is seen by Him and is preparing you for something extraordinary that is about to unfold. And right now, as you hear these words, a sign has already been sent to you. A reminder that God is near, preparing you to step into your destined moment. You will soon sense the secret this message is about, to reveal a truth that can change everything if you are willing to open your heart and listen. Part 1. The Power of Silence, Chosen One. Take a deep breath and feel the rhythm of your heart in this very moment. Have you ever wondered why just when your soul overflows with words brimming with truth, filled with mission, the Lord places an invisible hand over your lips, holding you silent? Why does He not allow you to proclaim the messages your soul has crafted, the words you believe could change the world? Silence, dear one, is not weakness. It is not helplessness. It is a weapon, a sword kept in its sheath, not because it is weak, but because its true power has not yet been unleashed. Imagine a sword forged through thousands of hours, so sharp that even a single misstep could cut what should not be harmed. If drawn too soon, it could cause damage. It could destroy what God has meticulously prepared. And it is in that silence that you are being refined. Your soul, your heart, and every experience you have lived, all are arranged like notes in a grand symphony that only God can hear. When you remain silent, you are not missing out. You are not failing. You are preparing for the moment when that sword will be drawn with absolute precision, with a power the world has never witnessed. Look at the seed beneath the soil. It lies still, cloaked in darkness, unseen by any eyes. But within the earth, a miracle is unfolding. Roots stretch deep, the stem begins to form, life gathers strength. The seed has not sprouted because the time has not yet come. You, chosen one, are like that seed. Every word you long to speak, every yearning to be understood, God is holding them, protecting them, so that when the time arrives, they will erupt and multiply beyond imagination. Can you feel this delicate moment when words die on your lips, when the fire in your heart cries out, but your mouth remains still? You choke back, and in that choking, you witness true power. Silence does not bind you. It frees you from hasty words, from futile arguments, from the arrows of the enemy you are not yet ready to face. Let your soul feel this. God does not keep you silent because He does not want you to speak. He keeps you silent because the world is not ready to hear. The words you are preparing, if released too soon, may fall on ears lacking faith, be misunderstood, or worse, they may be used by the enemy to undermine God's plan. Silence is a protective wall, an invisible armor you carry without even knowing it. Think of all the times you tried to share the truth only to see others' eyes glaze over, to meet skepticism, to feel judgment. It hurt, didn't it? The pain of being misunderstood, of feeling abandoned, as if the whole world were against you. But chosen one, it is in those moments, in that profound loneliness, that God teaches you the power of silence. He shows you silence is not failure, it is victory yet to be revealed. Reflect on the times you choked back the moments you wanted to explain, to defend, to share a sacred message, and did nothing. It felt heavy, didn't it? But look deeper in that very moment of restraint. You are guarding a treasure. You are protecting the promise, safeguarding God's preparation, shielding your own soul from betrayal and the misunderstandings of the world. Silence is a miracle in every breath. It is the doorway to a power you have yet to know. When you learn to stay silent, you learn patience. When you learn patience, you learn to recognize the moment of destiny. And when that moment comes, no one, no enemy, no obstacle can stop you. Do you remember the times you were placed in situations where only silence could save you? Have there been moments when you longed to speak, yet an inner voice whispered, "Not yet. Not now"? That is the voice of God. He is teaching you that true power does not lie in speaking all that you know, but in preserving, waiting, and releasing at the perfect time. Picture a sharp sword. If you swing it recklessly, you will harm not only your enemy, but yourself. But if you keep it in its sheath, waiting for the moment God directs, a single strike can change everything. Your silence today is that sword kept in its sheath, gathering strength. And in that silence, there will be moments you feel lonely, heavy questioning, has God forgotten me? But chosen one, trust that God does not forget. He is preparing you, accumulating strength for what only He knows. Your silence is cooperation with the heavenly plan, obedience to a power beyond human understanding. Feel this with every breath. In each moment you remain silent, a miracle is forming within you. The words you have not spoken are becoming energy gathering, preparing for an eruption that will leave the world in awe. You will no longer be misunderstood. The words you hold today will become the mission of tomorrow. Let your heart absorb this truth. Silence is power, silence is strategy, silence is protection. You are being refined by God, prepared by God, and every moment of choking back every unspoken word, every doubtful gaze you have faced, all are part of a magnificent journey. In silence, you become more attuned to signs, to messages, to the whispers of God that only your soul can hear. You realize that what you once thought was pain, failure is in fact preparation, a layer of invisible armor protecting you, a test that strengthens your heart and soul. Chosen one, today embrace silence as a gift. See it as the sword, the seed, the treasure God has entrusted to you. Recognize its power and believe that one day, when God commands, all the words you have withheld will erupt. Change everything, heal every wound, and open doors you thought impossible. Silence, chosen one, is not a loss. It is power yet to be unleashed. It is the ultimate strategy God reserves for those He calls. Stay silent, listen, and prepare for the moment. The world will marvel at the power within you. And when you feel choked back, when your heart longs to speak, remind yourself this is a moment of obedience, a moment of power, a moment God is preparing to release it all. True strength does not lie in words. It lies in silence that waits, trusts, and believes. Part 2. Biblical Examples, Zechariah and Jericho. Chosen one, come with me into the stories preserved by sacred history, where silence became power and waiting became a divine strategy. Let your heart open and feel every breath of those destined moments, moments God used to teach humanity about the power of silence. First, remember Zechariah the priest standing before the angel Gabriel, looking up at heaven with wonder and curiosity. He was promised a son, a mission long prepared by heaven, but in that moment he could not speak. God placed an invisible hand over his lips, and Zechariah was silent for 9 months. 9 months, imagine. 9 months living with the yearning to share joy. 9 months carrying a magnificent promise in your heart that you could speak to no one. Can you feel the ache, the loneliness Zechariah endured? Each passing day, every glance at his wife, every heartbeat full of anticipation, words unspoken stuck in his throat. But listen, chosen one, that silence was not punishment. It was not neglect or hatred. It was protection. Protection of the sacred promise, guarding a mission that, if spoken too soon, could be misunderstood, wasted, or destroyed. Picture that moment, a darkness of silence, yet within it a miracle was taking root. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, unseen by anyone, yet roots stretching down the stem, forming life, gathering strength. Zechariah could not know, but God knew, and that was enough to safeguard a mission prepared by heaven. And then when the destined moment came, silence became a powerful prophecy. When John was to be circumcised, Zechariah finally spoke, and his words shook all who heard them. 9 months of silence became 9 months of power accumulating. Can you feel that shiver of awe? 9 months of restraint, 9 months of waiting, and a single word changed everything. Now look to Jericho, the city long thought impossible to conquer. God commanded the army of Israel to march around the massive walls in silence. 6 days without a single shout, without a call, without any sign except the steady rhythm of their steps. They heard the beating of their own hearts, but their lips remained sealed. Imagine the power contained. Each step, each breath, each heartbeat, all preparing for the destined moment. The walls stood tall, the enemy mocked the soldiers weary, yet God was working in silence. And then, on the 7th day, after 6 days of silence accumulating power, they shouted, and the walls did not merely collapse. They vanished entirely. Nothing could withstand the power gathered in silence. Chosen one, do you see the parallel with your own life? Every time you feel lonely, every time you remain silent before misunderstanding, every time you restrain the words your soul longs to share. That is your Jericho. God is accumulating power, preparing the walls to fall at the appointed time. Picture yourself as a seed in the darkness. No one sees you. No one knows you are sprouting, yet life is growing within you. You are being refined to become a towering tree, strong enough to withstand every storm, to surpass every hardship. Today's silence is fertile soil, divine protection, a force gathering within your soul. In silence, you also learn patience. Patience not to speak words before their time. Patience not to react to those who do not understand. Patience to wait for the moment God appoints. And chosen one, that moment will come just as it came for Zechariah, just as it came for Jericho. When it happens, the world will marvel at the power within you. Have you heard the sighs of your own heart in silence? Have you felt the choke of wanting to speak, yet stopping because of an invisible sacred presence? That is God refining you, teaching you that silence is strategy, that each moment of holding back accumulates power, and that one day all will erupt in ways you cannot imagine. Recall the times you longed to share a mission, a sacred message, but felt restrained. Remember the awe of knowing that the words you withhold today will become tomorrow's mighty weapon. God is teaching you the lesson of Jericho. True power lies in waiting, in following the appointed time. Chosen one, do not worry if you feel lonely, if you feel misunderstood, if the words you long to speak die on your lips. Every moment of silence, every patient heartbeat, every unspoken word, all are preparation. And when the appointed time comes, you will speak, and your words will shake the world, opening doors you once thought impossible. Let your heart absorb this truth. Zechariah was silent for 9 months to protect the promise. The army of Israel was silent for 6 days to break the wall. And you, chosen one, are being protected, refined, and prepared to step into your moment of power. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. It is a weapon. It is protection. It is divine preparation known only to God. Feel every breath, every moment you hold silence. Recognize that silence is power, and when the destined time arrives, all that you have kept within will erupt, bringing change, healing, and victory to you and to those entrusted to your guidance. Choose silence today, for silence is the seed, the power, the Jericho waiting to fall. When it happens, the world will stand in awe. Choose to wait, chosen one, for God is preparing you for the greatest thing you have ever dreamed. Part 3. Spiritual Warfare and the Enemy. Chosen one. Listen closely. Have you ever felt that every word that escapes your lips is like an arrow fired into the unseen world? Have you ever spoken something only to realize that it fell into the hands of those who should not hear it? This is spiritual warfare, where every hasty word, every message not yet ready, every secret not yet prepared, becomes an opportunity for the enemy to execute a plan of destruction. Can you feel this? Imagine holding a strategy, a sacred mission God has placed on your shoulders. If you speak too soon, you hand power to forces that seek to destroy it. Every hasty word, every detail revealed before its time is like exposing the plan and the enemy. They are listening, observing, preparing to respond. Consider human military strategy. A wise general never broadcasts the full plan. Over the radio never reveals the strategy to the enemy before the time comes. Everything is kept hidden, everything is prepared in silence, and when the command is given, a single strike can change the entire battlefield. Chosen one, you are in that battle too, but this is a spiritual one. Every careless word could disrupt God's plan, misalign the timing He has set. Look deep into your soul. The moments you wanted to explain, to prove, to share what God has given you. But an inner voice whispered, "Not yet." At that moment you felt choked, your heart constricting. It is not prohibition, it is not punishment. It is God's warning. Do not give the enemy insight into his plan. Remain silent today so that power may be released at the appointed time. Have you ever wondered why hasty words often lead to misunderstanding, disappointment, even pain? Because the unseen world is listening. Every secret, every strategy, every prophecy not yet ready can be heard by the enemy and used as a weapon against you. But chosen one, silence is how God protects you. Silence is how He preserves your promise and your mission from being destroyed. Imagine standing on an invisible battlefield. Before you are unseen walls, intricate traps set by the enemy to obstruct you. Every careless word you speak is a door opening for them, allowing them to infiltrate and destroy what God has built within you. You may feel choked when you realize that words you thought would help could instead sabotage your mission. But chosen one, do not despair. Look closely at the sacred light around you. God is protecting you. He stands behind you, guarding every heartbeat, every breath, every intention not yet spoken. Each time you remain silent, you are obeying the divine strategy, accumulating power, ensuring that when the moment comes, everything will erupt in a way the enemy cannot stop. Listen carefully. The times you feel confused, the times you want to react, the times you think silence is weakness. Those are moments God is teaching you strategy. In the spiritual realm, silence is the strongest line of defense, and haste is the path to failure. Have you ever felt that your words, even when truthful, were misunderstood to the point of becoming weapons against you? Chosen one, that is proof you are in spiritual warfare. Every unspoken word is a shield protecting your sacred mission, guarding your heart and soul from those waiting to destroy. Imagine holding an invisible shield. It is delicate but steadfast. Every time you refrain from speaking, you raise that shield higher. Every time you keep a sacred secret, you strengthen it, empower it. And when the appointed time arrives, that shield becomes power. transforming what was once forbidden into a weapon for victory. Look deeper into this shivering moment. The words unspoken today are the bricks forming the foundation of a future fortress. If you fail to remain silent, those bricks fall into the enemy's hands and the fortress collapses. But if you are patient, God will use each brick to build a stronghold of power that only you will possess. Do you feel your heartbeat quicken, the choke in your throat as you realize a careless word could disrupt the plan? That is the moment your soul comprehends the value of silence. You are standing on an invisible front line, holding God's promise, preparing for the moment when power will be unleashed. Imagine the invisible enemies before you, watching, listening, waiting for your slip. But chosen one, God protects you. Each time you remain silent, you deceive the enemy, blind them, and keep God's plan inviolable. You no longer need to fear hasty words or misunderstandings. You are learning to become God's warrior, a warrior of silence. And then when the appointed time comes, when God allows you to speak, everything you have held back today will explode with unmatched power. What the enemy thought they controlled will be powerless. What you endured in silence will become a sacred weapon. All will witness the transformation orchestrated only by God. Listen to your breath. Feel the power in silence. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. Every time you hold your words, every moment you feel choked, that is spiritual warfare in motion. And chosen one, you are winning second by second, moment by moment in silence. Silence today protects the future. Silence today prevents the destruction of what God has built. Silence today is strategy, is power, is the provision guiding you toward your destiny. Remember this, chosen one, power does not lie in speaking all that you know. Power lies in preserving, obeying, and waiting for the appointed time. And when that time comes, the enemy will be astonished, and you will see that every moment of silence today was worth it. Part 4. Healing and Inner Protection. Chosen one, pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Let your breath merge with the stillness spreading all around you. Can you feel this space filled with power, filled with the gentle presence of God? Let me tell you the story of Job, who endured unimaginable suffering. When his friends came to comfort him, they sat with him for 7 days and 7 nights without saying a word. They knew that sometimes silence heals more than any spoken word ever could. You see, chosen one, silence is not only a strategy against the enemy, but it is also where God heals your heart. When you remain silent, when you do not voice your pain, when you do not complain, when you do not argue, you are creating sacred space for God to perform inner miracles. Every breath, every restrained heartbeat, all of it becomes a vessel through which He refines and heals your soul. Imagine that moment you sit alone. No one understands your pain yet. In the silence, you feel God's presence. He has not abandoned you. He does not leave you in loneliness. Instead, He lays His hand upon your shoulder, giving strength and peace, letting you sense that every wound is being healed, little by little. Look at the wounds you have carried for so long. Disappointments, betrayals, hurtful words that linger in your memory. Do you feel the sting of recalling them? But chosen one, silence is where you are protected. No one hears your pain, but God hears it all. And in the stillness, He is repairing, mending every fragment of your soul with meticulous care and gentleness. Practically, God invites you to try a method of healing. Write down your pain. Take a pen, open a page, and let the burdens of your heart flow onto it. Each line is a prayer, each sentence a doorway to a miracle. You do not need anyone else to understand. You do not need anyone else to hear. It is just you and God. And in that silence, the miracle begins to form. Have you noticed that when you speak too much about your pain, you only deepen it, make it heavier, harder to heal? when you remain silent, when you restrain yourself, and instead write it down, your heart begins to lighten. Every word you write is a brick rebuilding the foundation of your spirit, a healing that only God can orchestrate. Imagine, chosen one, sitting in a dark room, a faint light filtering through the window. You feel emptiness, loneliness, and painful memories surge. Yet in that moment, silence becomes medicine. You feel peace weaving through every heartbeat, every breath. The pain does not vanish instantly, but you realize God is at work inside you, slowly, quietly, yet with immense power. Recall Job 2:13. When you see Job's peace, when you recognize that silence can preserve strength and heal wounds, you experience an aha moment in your own soul. You understand that true peace does not come from outside, but from within, from God's presence in the silence. Chosen one, you may quietly shed tears in this moment. You may feel the pain, ease, sense gentle comfort, realize you no longer have to bear everything alone. God is here filling the emptiness with love, strength, and healing. Let your unspoken words, your unshed tears, your untold stories, all ascend to heaven where they become prayers, instruments of healing. Every moment of silence is a miracle, every breath an opportunity for God to shine within you. Have you ever wondered why silence can heal more than words? Because when you are silent, you stop hurting yourself by repeating the pain. When you are silent, you create space for God to fill. When you are silent, you empower Him to restore, to heal, to renew your soul from deep within. Imagine the moment when you write down all your pain. The page becomes a support, a protective wall, and God is there guiding each line, each tear. You do not need to explain. You do not need to defend. You only need to listen, feel, and trust. And in that moment, silence becomes the place where power appears. Chosen one, let silence today be the healer of your heart. Let every silent moment be a remedy, every breath a bridge between you and God. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. Every tear, every heartbeat, every unspoken word, all are being used by God to restore, to renew, and to prepare you for the great things ahead. Feel the peace permeating every cell of your being. Recognize that every time you remain silent, every time you write your pain instead of speaking it, you are entrusting God to perform miracles. You are healing, you are restoring, and you are accumulating strength for the destined moment God has prepared. Silence, chosen one, is not meaningless emptiness. It is where God works wonders. It is where you learn patience, learn trust, learn that power does not come from words, but from the presence and healing of God. Remain silent, write, feel, and you will see that every pain, every lonely moment, every tear becomes a bridge leading you to strength, to peace, and to preparation for the victory of destiny. Chosen one, today recognize this truth. In silence, your soul is healed. In silence, your heart is restored. In silence, God is preparing you for greatness beyond your imagination. Let silence become your healer, your power, and your most sacred moment. Part 5. Preparing for the breakthrough and victory. Chosen one, pause once more, take a deep breath, and feel the space around you. Can you feel that stillness? A miraculous stillness, a supernatural calm that envelops every cell in your body, every heartbeat pulsing in the silent power of God. This is the moment God is preparing for the storm of victory, a storm that, when it arrives, will tear down every wall before you open every closed door, and bring every opportunity you have ever dreamed of into your hands. Imagine the army of Israel at Jericho. For 6 days they marched silently around the massive walls. No complaints, no shouting, no sign other than their steady steps. The walls stood tall, silent, unyielding. The enemy mocked them, thinking all effort was in vain. But chosen one, do you know what happened on the 7th day? When those patient steps concluded, when the shout was released at the appointed time, The walls fell completely and the power of God triumphed. And you, chosen one, are in that moment too. Your silence today is your Jericho, a silence prepared by God, where power accumulates, opportunities form, and your great mission yet unrevealed is being readied. How many long nights have you endured? How many times have you felt alone? How many times have you longed to speak but had to stop? All of it is part of this preparation. Look deep into your soul. You have endured, you have been patient. You have learned to remain silent even when your heart longs to speak. Every moment of silence is stored energy preparing for the storm of power. You have not failed, chosen one. You are being prepared. Every unspoken word is a brick building your victory. Every silent breath is the strength for your breakthrough at the perfect time. Feel the storm forming, not yet arrived. Can you hear the gentle wind? Feel your heartbeat quicken, sense supernatural energy coursing through your body. That is the power of God gathering, preparing, accumulating. When the moment comes, you will not only step into victory, you will become a source of inspiration, a living testament to divine preparation. Recall every time you were misunderstood, every time others doubted you, every time you felt abandoned. Chosen one, all of it is part of the journey. Today's silence is a strategy to protect what God has built, to prevent the enemy from sabotaging, to accumulate power in the unseen. And when the time comes, all of it will explode into radiant light. All will burst forth according to God's plan, bringing unimaginable change. Imagine opportunity approaching. Doors you once thought closed are slowly opening. Walls once thought impenetrable are beginning to crack, and you, chosen one, will step into that space of power with perfect preparation, complete faith, and a healed heart. You are chosen. Silence is power. Silence is not failure, it is preparation for unprecedented victory. Can you feel the miraculous peace within the storm yet to arrive? This very moment of stillness is a miracle. In silence, you accumulate strength. In silence, you learn patience. In silence, you realize that everything God has prepared is perfect. Every opportunity is in the right time, and every victory belongs to you. Imagine stepping out of that silence. Radiant light shining on you, power filling your body, and every wall that once blocked you, every doubt that once lingered, every enemy who once looked at you with skepticism, falling before the explosion of God's power. You will see that every moment of silence, every tear, every constricted heartbeat was worth it. Chosen one. Remember this: today's silence is not a meaningless trial. It is preparation for a heavenly victory. It is the power God gives you to step into your destined moment. Trust, be patient, and hold fast to faith that one day, when God permits, all that you have accumulated will erupt in ways you have never imagined. Feel the power filling every breath. Hear your heartbeat in rhythm with heaven. Let your heart beat with hope, with power, with faith that you are chosen. And when the storm arrives, when the appointed moment comes, you will not merely stand there, you will become light, a living testimony of God's power. And all will recognize that today's silence is tomorrow's strategy. Do you see yourself standing on your own Jericho? The silent steps you take today will echo as power tomorrow. The words you do not speak today will become evidence of supernatural victory. And when God allows you to speak, the world will marvel at the power you have accumulated in the darkness. Chosen one, be ready. Prepare your soul, open your heart, hold firm in faith. Today's silence is your Jericho. Today's silence is power yet to be unleashed. Today's silence is victory being prepared by God Himself. And when the time comes, you will step forward, you will speak, and every wall, every door, every obstacle will no longer exist. Let hope flood through you. Let power fill your soul. Believe that you are chosen, that you are prepared, and that today's silence will become tomorrow's victory. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. God is with you, preparing everything for you. And when the appointed moment comes, you will step forward and the power will be released perfectly, brilliantly beyond imagination. Chosen one, feel this truth. Today's silence is Jericho. It is the seed. It is power. When the appointed time comes, you will step out, speak, and all that you have kept hidden will erupt, heal, open doors, and bring the sacred victory only God can orchestrate. Chosen one, now having walked through every moment of silence, every lesson of power, every miracle accumulated in the darkness, let your heart settle. Take a deep breath and feel the gentle presence of God. He is laying his hand on your shoulder, granting you strength, patience, and guarding every heartbeat, every thought, every unspoken word. Know this, chosen one. You are not abandoned. You are not alone. You are a vital part of the sacred plan God has prepared for you long ago. Every moment you remain silent, every time you hold back, every patient breath is witnessed and used by him to prepare you for a great victory. Now I want you to close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and pray with me. Heavenly Father, please illuminate the hearts of every chosen one hearing this. Grant them strength, patience, and protection from all dangers and invisible enemies. Let them feel peace in silence, recognize the power you have accumulated for every appointed moment. Open the right doors, break every barrier, and let them know they are chosen, loved, and prepared for sacred victory. Amen. Feel the peace filling you. Feel that you are embraced, comforted, and acknowledged as one of God's chosen ones. You are part of a community where everyone shares faith, patience, and the power of silence. If this message touches your soul, leave an amen in the comments. Share it with another chosen one today so they too may recognize the power in silence. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do not miss future messages where God continues to guide and prepare you for your appointed moments. Chosen one, remember that you are chosen. Your silence today is power, it is preparation, it is the path to great victory. And when God allows all that you have accumulated will erupt open doors you never dreamed possible. And the world will marvel at the power within you. Be still, trust, and prepare, for today's silence is tomorrow's power.